Well, welcome to our Jewish story. This is November the 29th, 2025. These versions change regularly, so you might find some differences here, but this is as of the end of November 25. So this is a drive by our Jewish story app. At the top of the screen, you will see there is a question bar. I can put into here, what is your favorite Jewish holiday? The app is now going to search for answers to that question in the archive. And you can see here a bunch of people have answered questions. Let's ask Rebitz.
My favorite holiday, it's easy, is Purim. And the reason why I love Purim
So
is more,
question
I think,
for other people who talk about it.
probably, believe it or not, I think Yom Kippur is a favorite because
Talking about
we like to do here at the Chabad house.
Rania,
So we do like
continue the conversation. I click that button.
My favorite holiday,
and it brings me back into her interview. Now this is the content screen where I discover interesting things about people. So first of all, you see towards the bottom of the screen, it says, what is your favorite traditional holiday? Why? That's the question she was originally asked. I can swipe that to the right and find out, tell me a childhood memory. I click that.
I grew up in Brooklyn, the Hasidic community of Crown Heights.
So she's telling us about Crown Heights. So I can keep scrolling through there. Or if I want to see all of the questions, in the bottom right-hand corner, there's an up arrow. You might also find a question mark there. And it takes me into her interview. What kind of training did you have?
So it's actually a little crazy. There should be training, but there really isn't.
So people aren't trained to be a rabbi's wife, apparently. I can also do this using the microphone. What is your Friday like?
So that's the one day I don't do carpool, and my husband will take it, so I could.
And then she tells us about how she prepares Shabbat for 200 students. So there's other things on the screen worth noticing. In the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see it says Chabad there. If I click on that, it tells me who the owner of this particular content is. I'll come back to that in a second because we'll use that to navigate. On the right-hand side, I can like this by hitting the little heart. I can bookmark it. I can share this with other people. So I could say, I want to share this with Jackie, and it's now going to send that to Jackie. She's a friend I've already friended Jackie, and I've now sent her this as if to say, hey, take a look at this. I can also click the little three on the right-hand side there, click the three share button. When I do that, I can copy the URL, and it's now on my clipboard. That means I can now include it in an email, or I could put it on my Instagram bio, or various things that would then mean that this interview becomes accessible in other places. If I find myself in another language or I want closed captions, I just hit the CC and it will then give me that. And then if you need to report an issue, it's there. So this is the main screen. If I hit Chabad at the bottom left-hand corner and then click it, it's going to take me to the Chabad channel. Now, a channel is a place where any organization can put its content. As you can see, it's branded. They've got their photograph and their logo, the name of the organizational channel, Chabad. They've put a little caption in there, Ahavat Yisrael, unconditional love, that can describe whatever your channel is all about. You'll see that they've done an initial, I can follow that channel, which I'm now doing. You can see there's 5 different characters, including the Rebbitzin who we spoke to a moment ago. Now, this has led me back to their channel. At the moment, this does not link to a website, but it will do shortly. So you'll be able to go from this to a website or to an Insta page. There'll be various ways of connecting back to Chabad from this. And now what I can do is I can then go and explore other interviews within that channel. Let's go back to the front page. We'll navigate back to home. You'll see here the channels. So the channels at the moment are just populated by the most recent, but they will be searchable in due course. If I go into, let's just choose a channel that's got a lot of content. Let's go into Our Israel Story, because that's one of the earlier channels. And you can see here, interviews have been taken already. So this allows me then not only to see conversations, we call them, those are interviews, but we can also see collections. And a collection is a subset of interviews that relate to this channel owner. So they've put there here, look, Jerusalem stories in one bucket. And they've got Tel Aviv stories in another bucket. So essentially, you can build all kinds of collections. You just have to, once you're in your channel, is just name the collection. And you can see they've got some prepared where they don't, oh, they have two so far, ready for the development of new content. Back on the homepage, at the moment, the way this is organized is newest stories on the app will appear here. Featured, also curated by Our Jewish Story here. But you can also just do general searches. So second and third generation, for example, it could then bring up interviews about that topic. So there's some curated content there. If you've started a conversation with an individual, as you can see, I've had plenty of conversations, they appear here. It's possible also to spotlight content, and you can see it's creating these as I go. For example, I did not create the Palm Springs Jewish story. It has then the app has naturally created that based on the collection of content from Palm Springs, and it's related to the channel, but also to the geography. And so that's that. One other thing I'll show you is the fact that you can create content on the fly. So here, this particular story.
In 1967, I was in grad school.
So we're going to continue this conversation. And what we've done here is had one conversation at a convention, but instead of it being one person with lots of questions, it's one question and lots of people. So I can now go to this lady here and hear what she has.
I'm Rebecca, and I've had quite.
So it's a way for you to collect individuals' responses in one place, and then publish that as one conversation. Okay, let's now see how the question center works. So if I go over here, and I'm going to say now 10 questions for a rabbi about leading a service. Okay, so I'm going to create those questions. Now we could put into there a biography, we could create a long prompt, we could describe what it is that we're looking for. And you can see here the AI has come up with what's the main purpose of leading a service, what structures a typical service, how do you prepare to do it, etc. So now what I'm going to save that topic, and I'm going to call it 10 questions for a rabbi. In fact, how to lead a synagogue service. And now what I've got is a new topic. Now let's just imagine for a second that we are going to now film the rabbi. And the rabbi at the moment is going to be represented by my coffee mug, as you'll see in a second. There we go. And I'm going to position the rabbi's head there so we can see the rabbi. And now what you'll see is what is the main purpose of leading a service is the first question. As I swipe it left, I can find other questions in the group. If I tap it, I get all the questions that I've prepared for the rabbi. If I want to add a question, you'll see there's a plus button in the middle. I hit plus. And it just heard me saying plus, so it's now created a question called plus. That was a little accidental, but you get the idea. So it's listening, and then from what it hears, it will then create a question. I'm just going to turn off the counter, and now I've got my camera positioned there carefully, and now what I'm going to do is just hit record. Recorded that question. So I then save it, and I now have it in my files, and it's now uploading. You see uploading files. It's done that. So that's now part of my Q&A. If I come over here, what I'm probably going to see, I would hope, how do you lead a synagogue service? You can see there. At the moment, that's still processing, but in a few seconds, what you'll see is that should appear as a part of this is a set of questions I did previously in our Jewish story. Now, on this page here, you're going to see a few things. At the top there, you're going to see the total number of responses. So there's 1,250 questions being answered in this channel so far. The two followers are probably me and Heather. I can view my channel here. And when I'm in my channel, you can see these are some of the people that have been interviewed. I can also see my collections. I mentioned to you that you could do different collections. Look, here's some people. Let's have a look. In different places. There's FAQs and 2 and 3Gs. If I go back to my conversations, I can very easily change my channel. I can change the photograph, choose media for it. I can change that from my phone. I can change the name of it. I described it, Jews you will just love to meet. I can do that. If I don't want to display the channel yet, I can just mute it. And now that won't appear. So I can collect my content over time, put it into the channel, and it won't be published. Now, the same is true of individual stories. So in this conversation here, you'll see on the top left-hand corner a little I. It says Our Jewish Story FAQs. That's me there in the blue shirt. If I just click that I, it's now disabled that interview, so that will not appear in my channel. Or I can just take Jeff off there. Look, I'll put him back in again. So this is a very easy way to collect the content and then mute it so it's not available. The same is true of a collection. If I have a collection from Detroit I don't want to share, I just click that little I on the top left-hand corner, and that's done. If I want to change the name of that collection or I want to change the photograph, I can just do that there very easily. You can see that there was Lisa, my first and only person in Detroit. So that's it in a nutshell. If I want to edit my profile, this is it here, Our Jewish Story, OJS, Stories Everywhere, of Ordinary Jews, Stories of Ordinary Jews Everywhere. You can see my email address and what I've decided to share and not share. If I have friends and followers, they appear here. It's Karen, my colleague, who I'm following Jackie, and Karen's following me. So you can see I can then add those there. I can see who I'm connected to through the app. And that is Our Jewish Story as it stands. More to come.